So this felt like a topic that needed to happen from the floor. Let's get grounded and let's talk about one of the biggest habits that I find with leadership today, and it is journaling. And there are tons of people out there telling you that journaling is important, and I'm going to give you a couple of reasons today why it is super important. But let's start with a story that just brings this whole thing home. So imagine you're a 21-year-old major in the Army, and you're George Washington, and it is time for you to make your bones. So they give you a very important mission, but a very dangerous mission of going from Virginia to the Ohio Territory and tell the French, hey, you gotta get out of here. This is our place. By the way, side note, it's interesting to know that the entire Midwest, where I'm at now, was controlled by the French. So if this didn't happen, there's a good chance that I would be talking to you in French today. But anyway, George Washington gets tasked with this super important thing that he's got to do, right? And he goes, it takes him weeks, months, and all kinds of things happen. His horse dies. He's nearly killed by Indians. You've seen the never-ending story. It's basically that. But he gets over there, he delivers this message, which is a diplomatic way to tell the French to get the hell out of our area. And in all honesty, it doesn't go all that well because of all the things that happen. But he did one incredible thing through all of this. He kept a journal. He wrote down his stories, his thoughts, what happened to him, and everything like that. And when he gets back, this journal is published. And that was like a rise to fame. So basically, it made him a household name. It made him super popular, and it got him a commission and a promotion inside of the military, which just catapulted him up and up and up. And it doesn't always go well after that, but if it not for his journaling, if it not for this one simple habit, he may not be the person that we think of as one of the fathers of our nation. And that's why it's important for you. That's why it's an important habit that you should start in 2025. Now let's dig into a few reasons why it's important, maybe some tips on how to actually do it, and let's go right now. First off, let's talk about journaling as onto what you should actually use. It doesn't matter to me, honestly. There are tons of videos out there about telling you about what the best way to journal is and how this other stuff is concerned, and it really doesn't matter to me how you do it. You want to video yourself, you want to do it digitally, or you want to write it down. I really don't care. I do think that it's important that you keep it somewhere where that you can go back and review it, because importance to me is being able to go back and review what I've been writing over the last few days. Now I do it daily, and actually my journal is right here next to me. I do it in a paper document, and I do it with a pen or a pencil, and I write in it every single day. I miss some days, but most days I do it. And I go through about 2 of those notebooks a year. It's not important to me how you do it. It's important to me that you do it. Let's talk about journaling for strategic clarity and decision making. So the reality of it is that as you're going through here, you're going to unlock hidden patterns and opportunities. So as you're reviewing what it is that you're going after, as you're reviewing what it is that you are seeing on a daily basis, and you start to develop these patterns, you're going to unlock opportunity here for yourself. You're going to unlock the feeling of these things. You go through a week or 2 weeks and look back at your journal and how it started, and you realize that you were constantly dealing with automotive problems. Well, it's time to get a new car. It could be something super simple like that. It could also be something profound in the fact that you think that, man, it looks like the last 2 weeks, the last month, the last year has been me searching for true meaning in life. So I need to go out there and get a little bit more clarity about what it is that I believe in. So you're going to unlock some hidden patterns. It's also a great place to get some stress testing as to what some of your ideas are. So when you have to write it down, when you have to take your time and not just have it in here to where you can quickly communicate yourself, but you have to write it down and communicate it to someone else. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're communicating it to, but you're writing it down and you're communicating it to somebody else. It's got to come out of your mind and onto the paper. You are stress testing a lot of these things. And I find that just by simply writing things down, a lot of times I realize that maybe it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and it may not be a good idea to even pursue that anymore. And sometimes just simply writing it in my journal is a good place to decide that I don't even want to do that. And then sometimes point number 3 is you can develop and cultivate long-term strategy when it comes to this. So a lot of the times I find that when I write something down, I start to draw patterns around it. I start to draw arrows that if I do this thing, then I move over and I do another thing. Or if I want to be better at zeroing out my email inbox every day, I can develop a pattern on how I want to do this. And it lives inside of this document forever. Now, it doesn't mean that it never changes, because obviously it's going to change, but it does mean that I've written it down. It does mean that I'm cultivating that long-term vision, and I'm maybe even setting some goals for myself. Now, the second portion of this, I don't put in my main daily journal. I actually have a secondary daily review. I've done an entire video on it. I'll try to put a video up somewhere so that you can go back and review that. But I've been doing this for a really long time. And the truth is that I do think that by writing down on a daily basis what you're going to accomplish, and how you're going to accomplish it, and then keeping track of those things is super duper important. And I get a lot of productivity strength in this sort of a situation. And the reality of it is that you're able to prioritize. I did another video called the Ike Method. It was about the Eisenhower Matrix, to where I write down my daily checklist, the things that I have to do inside of my daily review. And then I prioritize things, and I make sure that certain things get done, and then put secondary things into the schedule so that I can always do them later. I find that I get a real boost of focus in this. I can say that throughout this situation, I definitely get more done because I can go down the list and make sure that things happen. Now, there are always going to be fire drills. The phone rings right in the middle of making a video or whatever it is that you're doing that day, and you have to turn your attention over to something like that. But having a written document that I follow helps me stay on target whenever it's time to get back into doing the other work. The other side of this is the review process. So I actually do a daily review as part of my routine, where I look back in the morning at the day I had before. What did I get done? What did I not get done? Did I do a good job of sticking to my routine, or did it go off the rails, and did I not get most of it done? And I start to realize patterns inside of this, and I start to adjust and work harder at my certain days. And the most important thing here is that I reward myself for good behavior. If I have a good day, I write in there that I had a good day. I knocked it out of the park. I'll even make teacher notes with an arrow drawn to my checklist where everything is marked off of there. Doing bitchin', man, doing a good job here. So I find that the daily reviews, even though I keep it in a separate notebook and not in my main journal, they do both live together in the same place right here inside of this gallant leather binder here. They do both live in the same place, and I find that it's super important to keep track of my daily review as well. The last reason that I think journaling will really enhance what you do is that it makes you a better communicator. So you've already lived the story that you're writing inside of your journal, and now you are writing it down. So not only have you lived it, but you've also told it. And by that structure alone, you become a much better storyteller. You become a much better rememberer of things that happened in a lot of ways. And it helps you give you some clarity over what actually did happen. You develop a little bit of empathy in this situation too, because you can journal about things that happen to other people. Like, oh man, this person had a bad day today, and I really hate that for them. And I really think that it's a terrible way that that I'm so thankful that this didn't necessarily happen to me. You can sort of figure out ways to understand people a little bit better and yourself a little bit better through this storytelling process. It's a fantastic way to build your communication skills by really stepping outside of yourself a little bit and thinking about the interactions that you had with people on a daily basis, with people that you had in your communication process, or that, the stories that happened to you that day. So there you have it. Journaling can help you with strategy. Journaling can help you with communication. Journaling can help you with productivity. It can do all of these things for you. And I'll tell you, if you're not quite there and you're not 100% certain that you can keep up these daily activities, well, that is usually where I would advise that you get yourself a coach. I'm a coach and I work with people every day on building systems and figuring out systems, and then the day-to-day operations to make sure that those systems actually get executed on a regular basis. So if you're interested in talking to somebody, you can click in the link in the description and schedule a little bit of time with me. I'm happy to talk about what your goals are, how to achieve those goals, and maybe even set up a system to where we talk on a regular basis and I help you achieve those goals. But the important thing is that even if I'm not your particular brand of vodka and you think that maybe somebody else is important to you, then I think that you should get coaching. If you want to make 26 a better year and you want to get the most out of this journaling habit that you're going to put in place, I strongly suggest that you get somebody to hold you accountable, even if it's just a business partner and you're not giving them any money in order to do this, and maybe you're just keeping each other straight and on the path. I think it's important to get help sometimes. So start small, 5 minutes a day, at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, anything like that. Start small and do a little bit of journaling. Get yourself a notebook, a digital product, whatever makes sense for you, and just do this. If you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up because that really helps the algorithm and I really like that. Leave a comment on what you plan to do, on how you're journaling, maybe some of the tips that you have. I love to hear it. Or simply just say hi. I love it when people say hi. And you can also press the bell so that you get notifications when more videos come out. And what does that mean? Well, in 26, I'm breaking a lot of the rules. I studied this yesterday in a short-term video. I'm going to do videos about what I think are going to help people achieve goals. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that looks like yet completely for 26, but I can tell you that it isn't going to be boring and that I am going to do my very best to help you out. If that's what you're on about, like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all those things that the algorithm wants you to do. In any case whatsoever, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.